So Nas was my idol when I was young. Like you did, came to dressing, the wordplay, the music, everything. I was a superior Nas fan. Period. I'd never take that away from him. But then as I got in the game, you gotta realize that your rivals would be idols, and not to take anything away from that, I developed my own style and my own lane that these kids start to gravitate towards the same way I gravitated towards Nas when I was younger and things like that. It's a whole different generation. We talking about 94, 93, I was in 11th grade. Nigga, it's 2025. There's a big gap there, you know what I mean? And I want people to understand that. So when Shorty's telling people that, yeah, he's 20-some years old, that goes to show the part of the era that he's in, that I came into light and started going crazy, that these kids love me. They don't really know who Nas is. If he's 22, he's born in 03.
Not all of them, some of them know. But
you know what I mean?
A lot of them know.
The hip-hop world just got a wake-up call. Jim Jones didn't just question Nas's legacy. He claimed to surpass it, sparking a storm that pulled in 50 Cent, old Dipset grudges, and even federal rumors. Now, what started as a podcast debate has turned into one of the most explosive feuds of 2025. And everyone's watching to see who makes the next move.
Put it to like this, Jim. Hey, bro, you been in this thing, but lyrically, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you.
Yeah,
y'all
but look how you
with
dress.
Nas.
Look how you dress. You don't even be in the same places I be in. And the things that we listen to,
I can be in the church house. You can't F with Nas lyrics. I don't know who told you that. Now look, I know you on that good stuff, but you're not seeing Nas. You're not seeing Nas, bro. Let's be real.
You got a bunch of 40 and 50-year-olds in their panties because I said I'm better than Nas.
It don't matter.
Look at you. Look at you.
Ain't nobody from Dipset gonna take you over Nas.
It only took one sentence for Jim Jones to set the internet on fire. Sitting across from Shannon Sharpe and Chad Ochocinco Johnson on Nightcap, the Harlem rapper claimed he was more influential than Nas. The studio froze, and within minutes, that clip was everywhere. Hip-hop's latest controversy had been born. Jim didn't backtrack. He explained that younger fans connect with him the same way his generation once idolized Nas. If a 22-year-old says, "I'm more influential," that just shows the era he's from, Jim said calmly. To him, it was about generations changing, not disrespect. But to fans, it sounded like blasphemy. Comparing yourself to the man behind Illmatic and King's Disease is never taken lightly.
Coming up and things like that.
I've heard you say that.
Since the barbecue and things like that, like he really put the whole dope boy rap, crack hustler, get fresh rap into perspective before anybody else. Before I heard Jay do it, before I heard anybody else, like he changed the cadence of rap into a whole different steam. Like he's the one that broke the camel's back when it came to artists like, to me, when it came to artists like Big Daddy Kane and all these artists that came right before him. Like after Nas came with that, they started to fade out, and then Jay, Fat Joe, like all of these rappers that are spitting about the life that we was really starting to live right now and how it was changing. Like this is, you know what I mean? So that's how I felt about that whole little situation.
Within hours, social media exploded. Some argued that Jim had a point. Influence today is measured in style, attitude, and viral reach, not just classic albums. Others accused him of chasing clout. Memes flooded timelines. Headlines called him delusional, and rap forums turned into debate arenas. Through it all, Jim doubled down. He said Nas inspired him once, but now he inspired the streets, the fashion, the slang, the hustle. They don't dress like Nas, he smirked. They dress like me. That single moment turned a casual podcast chat into a flashpoint for hip-hop's biggest questions. Who really shapes the culture? The legends who built it, or the ones who keep it alive? What was supposed to be a relaxed, late-night conversation turned into one of the most tense podcast moments of 2025. Shannon Sharpe wasn't about to let Jim Jones's comments slide. Sitting beside Chad Ochocinco Johnson, Shannon leaned forward, his tone shifting from curious to confrontational. "Bro, you're not seeing Nas," he said flatly. "You can't even be in the same rooms Nas be in." Jim smiled, but there was fire behind it. "You don't even know where I be," he snapped. "You talking about church houses? I'm talking about trenches." That line hit hard. Suddenly, this wasn't just a debate about music. It was a clash of worlds, one defined by legacy, the other by survival and influence. For a few seconds, The studio felt like it could explode. Shannon pushed back, Jim leaned in, and Ocho Cinco just sat there wide-eyed, looking like a nephew stuck between two arguing uncles. Then Jim went for the kill, mocking Shannon's outfit live on camera. The crowd laughed nervously, but Shannon wasn't playing anymore. "This is the biggest podcast you ever been on," he fired back. The moment went viral instantly. Social media had a field day. Clips spread across TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube within hours. Some called Shannon a hero for standing up for Nas. Others said Jim embarrassed him and brought Harlem energy to a talk show built for sports fans. Jim, however, left the set looking satisfied. He knew exactly what he was doing. That argument didn't hurt him. It made him trend. To him, controversy was currency. And while most fans saw arrogance, Jim saw strategy. The more people talked about him, the higher his streams climbed. But what he didn't realize was that someone else was watching. Someone who's made a career out of turning other people's headlines into warning shots. That someone was 50 Cent, and his response would be silent, but deadly.
He wanted that. He was watching them be that, like Mace be that and Camp be that, and looked at, and it was finally, he had one.
Mm-hmm.
And I just looked, and I knew, I just took the shot, Murder, to see, because I wasn't sure he was gonna go for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, we like Jimmy better than you anyway, Cam. Then you gotta watch and see how he responds. And then when you see, he like, oh, he really like that. Give me this, give me Jimmy. Yeah, tell him we want you at the show, Jimmy. Yeah, but that was one of those things I just threw it out and see what. And then when he bit to it, because it was like he was having a moment that not sure that was going to ever happen again at that point. And then he's going, for them, they had records that where, look, I always said it's to certain artists, I go, damn, when is he going to have his moment? Like, Fab, I said.
When 50 Cent decides to respond, he doesn't need a beat or a diss track. All he needs is timing. Right after the nightcap chaos went viral, 50 made his move. No rant, no name drop, no shade in words. Just a single Instagram post, an old federal transcript with a chilling label on it, Individual 1. No caption, no context, just silence. That silence spoke volumes. Fans instantly recognized the document. It was tied to the infamous Tekashi 66699 trial, where prosecutors once played a recording allegedly featuring Jim Jones's voice giving orders about what to do with Tekashi after he snitched. The name in the file wasn't Jim Jones, it was Individual 1. And though he was never charged, that tag has followed him like a shadow ever since. By posting it, 50 didn't just stir up gossip. He lit the fuse on an old rumor that many thought was dead. It was his version of a warning shot, the kind only 50 could deliver. He didn't accuse, didn't explain, just reminded everyone of what the streets already whispered. Within minutes, the post spread everywhere. Hip-hop blogs dissected every line of the transcript. YouTubers uploaded breakdown videos, and fans flooded comment sections with Individual 1 emojis. Jim became a trending topic again, but this time, the energy was darker. While 50 disappeared back into the shadows, Jim tried to laugh it off. He posted photos, cracked jokes, pretended he wasn't bothered. But everyone knew better. When 50 brings up your name or even hints at it, it's never random. And this wasn't just about clout anymore. It was about power, history, and one of the coldest games of silence hip-hop has ever seen. Once 50 dropped that post, the internet went into full detective mode. Hip-hop fans started digging deep, pulling up old interviews, wiretap clips, and Dipset throwbacks. Threads popped up everywhere connecting the dots between G-Unit, Dipset, and Nas, creating a digital storm of speculation. Jim Jones suddenly became the centerpiece of every headline, every thumbnail, every theory. But instead of retreating, Jim did what he always does. He turned the noise into momentum. He posted Jim videos, motivational captions, and throwback photos from the Dipset glory days. One caption read, "We don't duck challenges. My sneakers tied." It wasn't just a clapback, it was branding. Jim was turning every piece of drama into content. Then he made the boldest claim yet, saying the entire controversy was a marketing move. "Y'all fell for the bait," he wrote. "My streams go up every time I go viral." In one sentence, he flipped the narrative from damage control to self-promotion. To him, he wasn't being attacked, he was winning the algorithm. Still, not everyone bought it. Fans started calling him desperate, saying he was using controversy to stay relevant. Even Nas's silence became part of the story. Calm, powerful, and unbothered. One fan wrote, "Nas don't respond to noise. Kings don't argue with clowns." Jim laughed it off publicly. But behind the confidence, the walls were closing in. Because if there's one thing 50 Cent loves more than trolling, it's patience. And the quieter he got, the more everyone knew something big was coming.
Jim Jones went on Fat Joe and Jadakiss's. Oh, look, a topic in a topic.
Yeah.
He went on Fat Joe and Jadakiss's podcast and had a lot to say about some dude on the internet that said Jim Jones is better than Nas and has more Billboard hits than Nas.
It was a young kid. I believe he was like 23 or something, 22, 23. And he was saying that for his generation, his era, they don't look at Nas. And a lot of people took offense to that. I personally did not take offense just because of the kid's age, of the generation.
It's like a sports conversation. Like the numbers are the numbers. But in New York City, with rappers, we don't necessarily go by that.
Yes, Travis Scott is the bigger act, more hits, more numbers, more. But to the rappers, don't nobody give a about what Travis Scott is talking about.
I recently saw a clip on Instagram where a young kid was comparing you to Nas and saying that you got
that's my young boy.
Big hits.
He's wild.
Yo, he looked to you. He learned how to wear the BB Simon belt from you. He got his swag. Like, how crazy is that? Because in my era, you know what I'm saying, Nas is like a god.
In my era too. I mean,
so to be compared,
let me
that young kid out.
He was young and we loved that he loved Jim Jones. I want you to break it down.
Let's break this down. I admired Nas, but remember Nas' first record, The Barbecue, came out when I was in 11th grade.
By this point, the feud had evolved into something bigger than music. Jim Jones was still talking, still posting, still challenging everyone, but 50 Cent had gone quiet. And in hip-hop, 50's silence has always meant danger. When he stops trolling and starts vanishing, it's never random, it's strategy. Every few days, he'd post something cryptic, a smirk, a quote, a screenshot from 2007. No context, no explanation. Fans instantly understood. This was the long game. 50 was reminding the culture that he doesn't need words to win. He just needs memory. Meanwhile, Nas stayed completely still. No interviews, no subliminals, no tweets. That silence hit harder than any verse could. To his supporters, it was a masterclass in control, a king refusing to step off his throne. And the contrast couldn't be clearer. Jim shouting for attention, 50 plotting in the dark, and Nas saying nothing while holding all the power. The streets started whispering that Jim had overplayed his hand. He wanted to prove he was relevant, but ended up surrounded by legends who didn't even need to reply. In this game, silence wasn't weakness. It was dominance. By now, every corner of hip-hop was watching. The memes had slowed down, but the tension hadn't. Jim Jones was still online, flexing, posting gym clips, and challenging Shannon Sharpe to a real man's workout. He was trying to turn his controversy into confidence, claiming he'd wrapped circles around any rapper from his era. But deep down, everyone knew this was no longer about Nas. It was about 50. Fans could feel the pressure building. Something was off. 50 Cent had gone completely dark. No posts, no jokes, not even a hint of trolling. And that's what scared people most. When 50 goes silent, that's when the storm brews. Insiders said he was watching everything, collecting receipts, and waiting for the right moment. The phrase "individual one" started trending again, and the old wiretap rumors returned like ghosts that wouldn't rest. Meanwhile, Nas kept doing what he does best, staying focused, staying quiet, and letting his work speak. His calmness made everything around him feel louder. The more Jim talked, the more Nas looked untouchable. And that contrast became the story. Two rappers, two eras, two entirely different levels of composure. By the end of the week, fans weren't asking if Jim was right. They were asking if he'd gone too far. Because in hip-hop, history never forgets. And when 50 Cent holds your name in silence, it's usually not over. It's just the pause before the hit. As days passed, the noise online began to fade, but the tension behind it only grew heavier. Jim Jones was still talking, dropping lines about legacy, power, and influence. He said if you're 40 and still arguing about Nas, you've already lost. His captions turned bold, even taunting. I said what I said. To his fans, he looked fearless. To others, he looked desperate. Nas remained silent, a calm presence in a storm of noise. No reaction, no tweet, no subtle line, just quiet power. That silence made him look even greater. Every time Jim spoke, Nas's reputation grew stronger without him saying a word. And 50 Cent? He was still in the shadows, the same way he's always been before a major move. No trolling, no interviews, just a smirk that seemed to hang over the industry like a warning sign. Everyone knew that when 50 stops talking, something big is coming. The fans felt it too. Comment sections turned anxious. Was 50 planning a reveal? Would Nas finally respond with bars? Or had Jim just poked a bear he couldn't handle? Right now, hip-hop feels like it's holding its breath, because sometimes the silence before the explosion is louder than the blast itself. And that's where things stand, for now. Jim Jones is still talking, 50 Cent is still plotting, and Nas? He's sitting on top of the storm, untouched, unbothered, and undefeated. What started as a podcast debate has turned into a modern-day power struggle between legacy, silence, and strategy. Jim says he's teaching the game how to stay viral, but 50's silence might just teach him what happens when you play with fire. Every fan can feel it. Something's coming. Maybe a diss track, maybe a revelation, or maybe just another cold, calculated post from 50 that ends it all without a single word. So what do you think? Is Jim smart for keeping himself relevant? Or has he already crossed the line with two legends who don't even have to respond? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe. Because this story isn't over. And when the next move hits, you'll want to be here to see it first.